welcome back to The Traveling Golfer. My name is Mike Wixon, and right there is Claudio DeMarchi. You know who he is? He's the Traveling Golfer, my friends. This is a Traveling Golfer podcast. I'll recommend you subscribe to it wherever you're listening to this. Maybe it's on YouTube, and if it is, smash the notification button up there on the top right, and every time there's a new episode, it'll let you know, and we'll be right there for you. Every week, a different destination and a focus on golf. Claudio DeMarchi, how are you?
I am good, Mike. How are you?
Good. You're a good man for showing up in the middle of winter, sitting behind a screen, social distanced from me, and complaining bitterly that there's nothing on TV to watch, there's no fishing left here in this neighborhood, and there's no golf travel for you in the immediate future. Are you holding up okay?
I am. I'm very grateful nowadays to be a Canadian here where it snows. And you know what I did the other day?
What?
I went outside when we had that fresh dump of snow.
Yeah.
And I built myself a snowman.
Oh, look at you, 6 years old over there.
Well, I used to do it for fun. Now I do it for company.
Oh, no. Oh, that makes me feel, I will come and visit you shortly as soon as I get my snowshoes out. But, you know, it is interesting because at least we do get a change of scenery here. It may not be conducive to golf or fishing in your case. Well, ice fishing, maybe give that a shot.
No.
Okay, I thought I would suggest
definite
it.
No.
Okay, that was a no right there. We got to not going to happen.
No.
Coming up later in the show, we're going to talk about an adventure that the boys had up north, culinary adventure that is, as well as a little bit of wine from the wine cellar. So stick around for that. Today we are going away to.
We are going to where we should be right now. We should be doing this show from where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're going to love this because I know your golfing talents are to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that was very diplomatic of you. I can't even say the word. That was very diplomatic of you.
Just need to change the batteries in your tongue.
Thank you.
But other than that, this place, even before you get onto the golf course, has about a gazillion gallons of water that you have to deal with.
Oh, really?
Yes, and there's a cabana. We call a poolside cabana right next door to this gazillion gallon pool.
Okay, I can't wait to hear more about
We're going
this.
to Saddlebrook, Florida.
Oh, all right, Florida. Here we come. And joining us today,
we're going to chit-chat with my good friend, Pat Farrell, Director of Sales, and does just about anything that needs to be done. Right, Pat?
Absolutely. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, Pat. Thanks for joining us. How are you been?
Fantastic. I appreciate it, and look forward to chatting with you guys about Saddlebrook and what's happening here in the Tampa Bay area.
You know, I heard you mention that you have something in common with us, a little bit of cold weather there. Let's talk about the temperature. What's the temperature?
It is a chilly 63 of a high today.
Oh, be quiet, Pat. We'd be out there in our Speedos, Claudio and I.
I wouldn't be able to bring my snowman.
Yeah, Claudio would be there with his white tube socks and his sandals, ready to go.
You got it.
Well, Pat, thanks so much for joining us and bringing a little bit of warmth into our day. Let's talk about Saddlebrook. What's your experience like? So, up to this point, you bring people on we know, or and there must be an experience you want to talk about here for sure.
Well, I've been there once or twice or maybe once or twice a year. It's awesome. It's like it's almost like going to I wish I could call it my second home. It's like going. I feel like that when I get there. Pat always arranges for me to end up in either the same condo unit or very close by, so I can even find my way home later in the evening. It's not too difficult, but there's like over 500 of these units, and they're all basically condominium style, and it's a huge property. I can't remember how many acres, but maybe 3,000 or something like that, Pat?
A little over 600 acres on property on the resort side campus. Plus, we have a residential neighborhood as well.
Right, so it's huge.
And what came first, Pat, the residential neighborhood or the compound, or was it all part of the same plan when you guys set this out?
It was all part of the master plan by our owner, Tom Dempsey, who is a gentleman that's just celebrated his 94th birthday, and he is an inspiration. I mean, the gentleman is here 10 to 12 hours a day, still puts in a full schedule and minding the store. So it's really a neat experience. He lives here on property, and it's unique because it's a family-run business here at Saddlebrook.
You're telling me that a 94-year-old individual puts in a 12-hour day running this golf course?
He is on top of everything in the resort. It's amazing to see how sharp he is, and he's certainly aware of everything that transpires on property, and loves to be engaged with guests, and you'll see him eating in the dining areas and the restaurants, and he loves to be out and about with the crowd.
He probably gets a free meal once in a while, since the place is called Dempsey's, right? So,
exactly.
But
in our Claudio, you've had that great experience and privilege of eating a nice bone-in fillet with a glass or a bottle or two of Cabernet.
Only if I shared the bottle with you, though, or somebody of that stature, of your stature. But
right.
The resort, I mean, it's amazing. Not only, like, we've got all these accommodations which house, in some cases, students who are there as part of either the golf academy or tennis academy, and so the place is built so that you can stay there for extended periods of time. But two great golf courses, both Arnold Palmer, very different in their own ways. Pat, do you want to get into the golf a little bit and give the listeners a little idea about what they can expect when they tee it up and look towards that other water that isn't poolside?
Exactly. What's really nice is like you mentioned, we have two Arnold Palmer signature courses here on property. And the first one is the Palmer course. And it's kind of more of a New Englandy feel to it. It's kind of unusual for Florida, where it has not a drastic elevation change, but it does have elevation change on it. And it's kind of a little bit more rolling terrain. And as a resort course, it's great because it's a great course to start out on, because the fairways are wide open. Where the real challenge on that golf course comes from is your approach shot and putting. The greens are small and undulating, and it really gives you some challenge as you get closer into the greens.
A few holes of risk reward I would throw in there for sure. And a lot of water that makes for some beautiful photos.
Without question. And then when you really want to talk about water, you move over to the Saddlebrook course, where it features water on 15 of the 18 holes. And that course is a real challenge because in a different way, where it's extremely narrow off the tees, and it's cypress lined fairways, so you got to choose the right club and make sure you hit the straight ball on that golf course.
We would call that course management.
Yes, without question.
No grip it and rip it there, because in some of the more northerly courses, we say that the woods are full of long hitters, and here the ponds are full of long hitters.
Yes, and you don't want to visit some of the friends in the pond.
Yes.
Duly noted.
Yes, but the greens on this side on Saddlebrook are a little tamer, let's say, than some of the ones that you find on the Palmer side. And I think on the Palmer side, those last 3 or 4 holes are just a bitch.
It's unique because it ends on a par 3 over water, which to a very small undulated green.
Yes.
A 2-tiered green, and that really provides some drama as you finish your round.
Yes, I kind of like 17 too. I mean, it's very delicate coming off the tee, and then it's a elevated green, and if you miss that by much, you're nowhere happy.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
All right. So now let's. On the golf side of things, you just said to me there's no grip it and rip it on a number of these holes. So how do you educate yourself leading into this? I would imagine you get some good advice out there from the pro shop and things like that. But how did you prepare yourself for this course? Or did you just get out there and say, all right, next time I play this, I'm not taking that risk and I'm not taking that risk?
Well, I find, like, for me, I'm kind of off the tee is one of my strengths. So I kind of aim for try to be around the 150 marker. If you play it, I think if you play it that way, and you tell me what you think, Pat, but I think that's a safe way to play the Palmer course.
You do play very strategically, Claudio, and that is definitely the smartest way to go about it, because both of the golf courses really require proper club selection and course management, for sure. I mean, it is definitely, you want to get it where you need to be so you have a nice angle in on those shots to avoid those water hazards and cypress trees.
Yeah, I love, I think it's the 4th or 5th hole on Palmer where you have the water that starts to really get dramatic. Which one is that? 4 or 5? And I think it's a par 5.
4 on Palmer.
4 on Palmer. Right. So, Mike, you're going to love this. The water is quite a ways out there off the, did we play the white
It's
tees?
about 240 off the tee from
240. That. So if I hit a really good driver and I go in the water because I hit it too well, then it's a free lift. I think that's a great rule.
Are you sure that's the rule there, Claudio?
It's Claudio's rule.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, this game is supposed to be played for fun, right?
It is, yeah.
So,
I mean. By the way, I do respect that you are willing to build in a couple of side rules just to keep the game fun.
I didn't mean to hit it that good on that particular
they're
hole.
Canadian rules.
That's right. So. We have a more socialist approach to the game. That's what's going on there.
but Pat, tell us. Okay, the golf is awesome and everything is right there. You have a world-class tennis academy as well, and not to mention that there's so many other things to do. But I think that deserves a couple of words on just how great that is, and a lot of the people that have come out of there.
You're exactly right. We have the good fortune of having an international prep school located here on property, namely Saddlebrook Preparatory School. We currently have close to 100 students, and in the golf and tennis side, from all corners of the globe. And even during this pandemic and challenging times, we still have about 40 students actually boarding here on campus that stay throughout the school year in a controlled, quote unquote, bubble where, it's all about training, practicing, school, and then they rinse and repeat daily. So it's a really interesting thing to watch these kids on both sides with golf and tennis when they come in as a freshman and by the time they leave. And the vast majority of these students are going, to Division I schools upon graduation. I mean, last year, Carl Phillips, one of our students, he was here all 4 years, was the first individual since Tiger Woods to, as a freshman in high school, receive a full scholarship to Stanford to play golf, and he's there now. So he's enjoying his freshman year at Stanford.
That's amazing.
That is.
Well, that's a prestigious sort of approach to life, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm gathering here. Saddlebrook is an interesting situation because it's a school, it's a community, it's a vacation destination, it's golf, it's tennis. It really is a certain lifestyle that it appeals to. Tennis and golf often come hand in hand. And then to take it to that next level where you can live there, stay there, and feel comfortable all kind of in a contained community. What else is in the community overall, guys?
Well, other activities, that I recall, basketball, volleyball, yoga, I believe, Zumba. I know that. Yes,
we've got a great international sports village with strength and conditioning programs and a myriad of different sports. We have athletes from professional football, baseball, basketball, hockey, that come and stay and train here in the off seasons. So it's very unique experience as a guest that's just visiting. I mean, you might run into an NFL player doing his workout in the off season on our sport field that's a synthetic turf, just like they would have at a NFL stadium that our folks practice and play on. And you'll see baseball players out there prior to spring training in the off season doing their long toss and getting their arms in shape prior to the season. So it's like you said, it's a very unique sports driven, but it is a community of like-minded people where they play all these different sports, but it's a lifestyle program.
Not only that, but we should touch on the area itself, like right from when you, I guess, land, preferably in Tampa if you're flying in. We've got amazing reasons for tons of people that are sports fans to come in with baseball, basketball, football. We've got, that's in Tampa, and St. Pete's, we've got world-class beaches like nowhere else, and then we've got all the other things to do up in your own area where the Florida Sports Coast is.
Indeed, we do. What's very unique is that the Tampa Bay area is really becoming Toronto South.
Especially now.
We have the good fortune of hosting the Toronto Raptors here at Amalie Arena for the upcoming NBA season. So they're going to be practicing right near us here at Saddlebrook and then playing their games at Amalie, where the Tampa Bay Lightning, sorry to rub it in, Canadian guys, but there's a lot of hockey in Florida.
Yes, there is.
Stanley Cup champion Lightning are just down the street, and we've even had the good fortune of hosting U.S. women's hockey here at Saddlebrook before the past Olympics.
Was that in the pool?
The U.S. women's hockey team actually came in prior to the Olympics and stayed and trained here for 6 months prior to the Olympics. And they felt that whole stay at Saddlebrook was very instrumental in helping them win the gold medal.
Wow.
Where they really built a team environment and were here living together, training and playing together.
Well, that's we thank you for that. And so all of Canada thanks you for that.
Absolutely. And, you did mention all the great things in the area. Our Convention and Visitors Bureau partners, better known as Florida Sports Coast, has been great in helping us really put the Pasco County and the Tampa Bay area on the map from a sports perspective. They've done an outstanding job in marketing it, and right down the street from Saddlebrook, literally 10 minutes outside of our gate, back to the Lightning, their training facility with Center Ice and the Advent Ice Center is right by us with 5 sheets of ice. They just built a new over 100,000 square foot sports complex right next to that, with volleyball, basketball, gymnastics, and all kinds of indoor sports that has really helped grow that sport market in our immediate community. So, and then focusing over onto the beach. I mean, you're right, Claudio. I mean, you fly down, you land in Tampa. Either direction you go, you're going to go to the Gulf of Mexico, to Clearwater Beach, where it's always rated as one of the top beaches in the world. And you've got a whole myriad of activities from water sports perspective on that side.
Yes.
And then coming back across the bay, there's just so many things to do and see. We've got Busch Gardens, sporting events with the Lightning, the Bucks, the Tampa Bay Rays, and spring training.
Well, touching on Tampa Bay Rays, we have to thank you and the Tampa area up here in Blue Jay country for Nate Pearson, soon to be superstar.
He's a local Pasco County product.
All right.
And Pat and his son have close ties to to Mr. Pearson, and hopefully with that, you and I get to go to a Blue Jay game.
Oh, you saw
someday.
where I was going with that. Did you see that in my eyes? Oh, we're going to the Jays game. We're going to meet the team. All right.
Exactly.
Well, the Florida Sports Coast is a really fresh idea that just wasn't left to flounder there. It was really nurtured, as you point out. There's a lot of sports teams that are calling that their base of training, their base of deployment, if you will. Off season, it's a very attractive place for other sports pros to go and stay fit and get on top of things. Now, in a short time here from when we record this, or even now, snowbirds are going to head to Florida. Our government doesn't really encourage it, but many people will go down and spend the 2 weeks quarantining and then, or whatever means they can to just get their winter going in Florida. How is this all affecting how you're handling business there, Pat?
Well, one of the best thing about Saddlebrook is the condo style accommodation. So if someone does have to come down from an area where they do have to quarantine even upon arrival for a period, I mean, you've got a home away from home with a 1, 2, or 3 bedroom condominium unit here on property. So you can still maintain that social distancing and quarantine period without feeling trapped in a hotel room for a number of days.
Oh, that would
or
make
with relatives.
That's going to make a huge difference. There's no two ways about it. That you can actually feel like you're at home while you're trying to get through that. That would make a big difference to how you feel. That's for sure.
Without question. And we see that a lot with our members, that we have a lot of members here at Saddlebrook from Canada that, have already made their way down and are going through different protocols, and they're appreciative of having that availability to, again, have that home away from home and make it a much easier, more comfortable transition during this time.
Yeah, and Pat, you've
what's
had
nice is, go ahead, Claudio.
sorry, you've had a bunch of visitors even during this time that have all been, I'm sure, safe, and you guys have done everything. Are there any incentives that you have coming out of Saddlebrook for travelers, whether they're snowbirds or Daffy Ducks like me?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of great stay and play packages, starting from like $189 a night, even in peak season, which is normally almost double that. So we've been very cognizant as, people are, have had challenges with work. Things are, so price becomes even a bigger option or bigger hurdle to overcome, I should say. And so we've been very mindful of that and really have tried to provide, our best type packages at a very cost-effective rate to attract that, multi-day traveler that is going to come down, stay 3 or 4 nights, play multiple rounds of golf, enjoy the great restaurants and all the attractions and things to do around the area. So indeed, if you visit our website, we've got some fantastic packages that we offer at it's almost like summer rates in peak season.
What's amazing to me is that at that rate, it might as well just be your base of stay for an extended period and see everything else in the area.
Exactly. And going back to that condo style accommodation, it lends itself great for that. So whether you stay 3 or 4 nights or you stay a week or 2. And we even have long-term rentals on property where we have some in our lakeside complex here that'll stay seasonally. And they'll come down for the winter and, they'll come in December and stay till April.
That's awesome. And when you get there, I mean, whether you're staying for a long time or a short time, it's certainly far from what you would consider all-inclusive as what we know. But when you get there, they take your stuff, they take you to the villa, and you really don't need your vehicle again until you're leaving. So it's not all-inclusive per se with buffets and all that kind of stuff, but it's all-inclusive as once you're there, everything's there.
You don't need to go anywhere.
Don't need to go anywhere.
Awesome.
Right. You've got your choice of multiple restaurants. You can pick and choose whether to add, a breakfast or option or a meal plan you can build into a package, and we're happy to do that for you. But like you said, you've got multiple restaurants and options where you don't necessarily have to. Or you can choose to some night stay in your unit and eat at home.
Yeah, and there are also a few nice restaurants close by if you want to go off property, and for the golfers who are there on an extended stay, there are a boatload of other golf courses to add some variety to the package, including, we'd be remiss if we did not mention Innisbrook and Copperhead being within the St. Pete's area, so less than an hour drive to have that, PGA Tour type of experience. And
Indeed.
You're familiar with that, Pat, I think, with that place.
We've got some even other great golf courses within an hour's drive of the property. You've got TPC at Tampa Bay that featured for a long time the Outback Champions Tour event, which is a great golf course. And then about probably an hour and a half from us is Streamsong, where that has gotten a lot of notoriety. It's kind of, quote unquote, the abandoned dunes of Florida, and but they've got multiple golf courses there, and we have a lot of people that come and do that very thing, Claudio. We have people that'll come stay with us for a week. They'll play multiple times on our golf courses, and then 2 or 3 days they may go off site and play those particular golf courses to hit a bucket list item with a tour course. And then also just to the north of us, 15, 20 minutes away, is Lake Tavita with another 2 golf courses. So like you said, there's great golf in the area, and you can really stay for a decent length of time and hit a lot of great golf courses.
Well, no wonder I keep coming back.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get people hooked up with how they can contact you. Where's the best way, and where can they get some more information, Pat?
The best way is to reach us at saddlebrook.com on our website, or you can reach out to me directly in our golf sales office at pfarrell@saddlebrook.com.
pfarrell@saddlebrook.com. Go to saddlebrook.com for more details. I'm jealous, and once again, this sounds like if you're going to go to Florida and you're going to quarantine, spend a couple of weeks, this sounds like a great way to do it. And then, boom, you're free to get onto the course after that period of time. And at your disposal is Florida Sports Coast.
And if anybody wants to see a few little videos or read my write-ups, travelinggolfer.net, go to the destination box, look for Florida, and lo and behold, they will be there. And some of those pictures are really nice, aren't they, Pat?
Without question. You've always been very, very kind to us. You've always done some phenomenal videos. There's several photos that you have taken that we've used in our marketing collateral that are just phenomenal. And
hey, I want you to know this.
Don't know, Claudio's an early riser.
Yeah,
and a late night guy, so he gets the best lighting on these pictures, and your photos are phenomenal.
He just stays up all night. And also, this is why I refer to him as a fisherman, because he was fishing for that compliment so hard it almost hit me. Pat, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll recommend people check out Saddlebrook. Put it on your bucket list for golf, and we'll catch you again real soon. Thank you so much.
For margaritas by the pool.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it, Mike and Claudio, and happy holidays.
All right, same to you.
Stay safe and be well, gents.
You bet. We will for sure.
All right. Well, you know what? What a delight. And you can tell when somebody loves what they do for a living because they get so into the description of it.
Yeah, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and listen, Claudio, thanks for bringing Pat on. He's that was a delight. More destinations in previous episodes. I will remind you of that, and more to come right here on The Traveling Golfer. Now, let's do this. Every week we go into the wine cellar. On occasion, we miss it just because you know the show goes a bit long or whatever. But we are definitely going into the wine cellar today because Today's wine cellar is the result of a weekend adventure in culinary design and enjoyment, alongside many bottles of wine. So welcome to the wine cellar. Give us the background. How did you end up tasting these wines?
Well, we weren't just tasting, we drank them.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, right? It's the holiday season.
Yeah.
And there's a few select friends, and we had a Christmas wino get-together.
Now, how many of you are in the wino club? What do you call yourselves, by the way?
We don't.
You have a club name. What do you call yourselves?
We really don't.
No?
It's like kind of like it's spurred off of a bunch of friends who we used to hang out with who decided that places like Montana's was a good place to go on a Wednesday night. And a few of us just got tired of it and said, let's do this boys wino thing. And so that's kind of how it happened. So it's been around for a while, but this is kind of the rejuvenation of it. So it was just 4 of us on this particular occasion. But before I got to the wine cellar, I was in the kitchen.
Yeah, you made an outstanding dinner.
Rimmed up a beautiful beef tenderloin, folded it all over nicely, tied it up, give it some love with mustard and horseradish and Dijon and that kind of fun stuff. And, doing all the prep work. Then we had a couple of big martinis. So, big martini glass holding in excess of a dozen blue cheese pitted olives. If you like blue cheese, come on.
I've never heard of this before. Blue cheese pitted olives. You had me there.
So then,
hello, lover.
Then I made a big martini in this glass, and it is a martini glass. And so that was kicked off the evening. And then when we actually got into cutting up the beef tenderloin, then we got into a couple of bottles of Amarone.
Now, Amarone is that's perfect for beef.
Oh my God, it is. And this was called Fumanelli, and it was a 2015. We actually had a couple of bottles of these. They're about $62 a piece, and it may have been, the best Amarone I've ever had. Big, bold, and beautiful.
Wow. Okay. Very nice. And give me the name again. I'm jotting it down.
Fumanelli. Amarone. It was a 2015. So it just kind of raised the bar. And then we have a friend who always raises the bar. His name is Patrick. And he brought a bottle, just one bottle, but it happened to be 1.5 liters. And it was a 2011 Stag's Leap Cab Sav. Just robust in your mouth, if you want to describe it in any way.
Good description.
Plummy, red fruits, some mocha, a little bit of maybe a hint of oaky flavor, something like that. And just when you smell it, the aroma is amazing. And when it finishes, it's like I always say, just want more.
Awesome.
So, and that little baby sold for $200 back then. So who knows now?
What year was it? This wine is a
2011.
2011. Okay.
So, anyways,
very nice. Sounds like you guys had a nice weekend.
Drank that all. We had a bottle of port to go along with it. We drank everything. Nobody drove. Nobody died.
Good boys. Well, I appreciate that. The wine boys got at it this weekend. The recommendations: Stag's Leap and Fumanelli, the Amarone that they enjoyed. And you might want to try a blue cheese pitted olive if you got the time. That sounds delicious.
Came out of Mississippi. That's the first place that I was introduced to that.
Go to travelinggolfer.net. Find out all that you need to know about amazing destinations around the world for golf. And there's great videos on there. There's a YouTube video channel. Search for that, Traveling Golfer. And also you'll find the podcast there. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, Claudio DeMarchi, you are the Traveling Golfer. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.